Heather.
I'm Lynn. Welcome to Small Town Big Thoughts.
Welcome back to episode 4.
Welcome back. So happy you're here.
We're still gathering our bearings this morning.
Oh, yeah.
After a couple, what are we, like an hour late?
Better late than never.
Got my coffee mug. Bueno Creations.
Mine's see-through. It says kinda emotionalist.
Yes, I love that. So today we're kind of just gonna have an open conversation and just talk to each other, and hopefully you guys stick around. I'm gonna figure out how to make this a little bit tighter. So what have you guys been doing this week? I have been doing a lot of learning.
About what?
Everything.
Oh, so I made tamales with my family this weekend. So that was fun. It's always good, delicious, traditional. So that was exciting and worked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You worked on the weekend?
the week.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I bought a whole bunch of embroidery kits, and I'm gonna start learning how to embroider things.
Heck yeah.
I'm excited. I got this one yesterday that has like daisies and stuff on it, and I'm gonna.
It's like you're gonna embroider things by hand.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
already
that's-
gotten the first one done.
that's a lost art. Not a lot of people do that type of thing anymore.
Right? That's so
So-
interesting. I think people who, whenever I went to get my wedding dress fitted, we went to a lady that, what are those people called?
The
The
seamstress?
A seamstress, yeah. I went to one of those, and you know how hard it is to find one, first of all? Like, you gotta know a guy that knows a guy that has a cousin or a brother or something that has a wife that's really good at sewing. Like,
Yeah.
what?
It's not as accessible as it used to be, I feel like.
And it's like expensive. So expensive. Like, way more expensive than I expected. But like, also, whenever she was telling me, so whenever I went there on the first time, she said that there was like somebody, or she was like on the phone with somebody who was like arguing with her over, like, he had brought some fabric and just like dropped off some fabric, and he was like, I need this suit made. And she was like, okay, like, what kind of suit? And he was just like, I need a suit. And she was like,
Oh.
but like, do you need like a jacket? Do you need like, and then he's like, just a couple $100. And she was like, I can even sew 3 pieces of fabric together for a couple $100. What are you talking about? And he's like, well, how much are you going to charge me? And she was like, to make an entire suit, like $1,200-$1,500.
Yeah.
And
Custom.
a custom suit, from scratch. Like, not even like a suit that's like, hey, can you change this suit?
Yeah,
The
it's
whole-
not even being altered; it's just being made.
and he was like, a couple $100, and she was like, no. And then, but she had like already started it. So then he like came over with some friends, which, mind you, she's like my mom's age. So she's like an old lady, and she's just like all fragile, walking around her house in the cold and with her little blanket on and everything. You know, and I'm like, and then she says that this guy showed up to her house with 2 bigger men bigger than him, to pick up this suit and pay her $200.
Did she make the suit?
Yeah, because she was like already in agreement with him, and she had already started on it. So she continued it. And then, because he had told her at some point, like, okay, I'll pay you $900, and she was willing to accept that. And then, but whenever he came, he only brought $200.
I'm sorry, but I would not have given the suit.
Yeah,
I
like, she was like,
would
I was like, what a freaking angel you are.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
But if you need a lady a seamstress, I got one.
She knows a girl.
I'm gonna eat my burrito. So,
That's so crazy. $900. I feel like that's not even covering like her time.
yeah.
That's a lot. You
Yeah.
could make bank though if you like offered their services.
Right? I thought about it. I've also thought about opening a flower shop up here in town.
Ooh.
I think either one of those is a really good idea for you.
Yes. Flower shop in the front, sweat shop in the back.
Oh my gosh.
Did you say sweatshop?
I know. I'm
You
like,
have Ellie back there sewing up shirts and shit.
Yes.
Fucking 3 years old. You're like, I don't care if you pick your, if you pick all your nails off.
I'm tired of this, Mom.
I can't laugh because I'll start coughing.
Reba's been
By
fighting
the
a
way,
bug.
Where we live, it has been hot, cold, hot, cold, 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 hot, hot, hot. And so my allergies and sinuses are being a bitch. So I've been a little sick and I can't cough or I can't laugh because I will cough. So brain.
Did you have to get your dress altered for your wedding?
No. I probably should have the bottom, but I didn't care. So no. I was gonna say. And well, it fit perfect. But then like the last month or so, I was stressing. And so I just started like losing weight. And then the week of, I think I talked about this, but my mom went into emergency surgery.
Yeah.
So then I really like didn't eat that whole week because I thought I was gonna have to cancel my wedding and plan a funeral. And so by the time like wedding day came, I probably should have had it altered 2 sizes down. Like it
Yeah.
was that bad. I just kept pulling it up there because I was like,
I remember walking through the field
this is
to go take pictures, and you're like holding your, like most people are holding their dress down here, but you're like holding it up here and at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I remember walking down the aisle and I was like, this, just like trying to keep it there with like my flowers and then like, oh, like my brother like hooked my arm through it. And I was just like, this is a hot mess. And then I remember my cousin Trish even was like, your dress is too big. And I was like, this is stress. Like, this is not anything intentional. So,
Right.
but yeah, I probably should have let go.
One of my friend's moms texted me the other day, and she was like, you need to stop losing weight. And I was like, I will whenever my body says to, I guess. She's like, I don't know what to tell you. I eat. Sometimes I eat more than Diego. He made me feel so fat the entire time he was home. Almost every meal that we had together, I ate like double what he ate. I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. Something wrong with you, man.
What's wrong with you? You need to eat better. I feel like they pick that habit up though on the road. Like, because there's times when he gets home and I feel like he really doesn't eat. And then I'm like, we ate, but I'm still hungry. Like,
Right?
I need to be fed. I'm just a baby.
I know. I'll ask Diego all the time. I'd be like, are you going to feed me today?
Yes. That or I'll be like, hey, I haven't ate. It's like 10 minutes till I'm hangry. Like, it's coming. I feel it. So.
Yeah, I'm always like, are you going to feed me yet? Because I am freaking about to throw down.
Yes. Yes.
And then he'll be like, well, where do you want to go? I'm not hungry. And then I'll be like, I have to decide what I want to eat.
Yeah. Oh, that's my biggest thing. I'll be like, please, I make so many decisions all day. Can you just make this one for me?
Right.
So yeah.
That was like yesterday our heater stopped working, and I called Diego while I was at work, and I've been so emotional lately. I literally cry over everything. Like, you could say a couple of words and then I was just like, oh yeah. But anyways, but he called me at work, and so really, I try not to raise my voice because the guys who work with me, whenever they're on the phone, they're like screaming.
Mhm.
But I don't know if it's because they're actually screaming or if it's because we're in cubicles.
Yeah.
And you can just hear everything. So I always try to like talk quietly, but then the person on the phone is always like, why are you whispering? And I'm like, oh, sorry, I don't mean to. Sorry, my bad. And then, but we're talking about the HVAC, and he was like, "Well, I don't know what you want me to do." And I was like, "Well, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know. I want to talk to the people. I don't want to I don't want to like have to deal with that." And he was like, "Well, so I don't know what you want me to do. Like, do you want me to call around?" And I was like, "I want you, because I don't want the guy to come out and tell me that it's okay, it's working now. So just let me know if it doesn't come on again, and then by the time he comes back out, I've got it working again."
Yeah.
So like I can make it work, but I want it to work on its own. I know that I can make it work, but I need him to make it work on its own.
Yes.
But I don't know how to explain that to the guy, because then he's just the professional, and he's just like, "Hey, yeah, I looked at it, and it seems to be running fine. If it wasn't on earlier, I don't know. It might have just needed a little kickstart."
Mm-hmm.
And then me, knowing nothing about anything, it's just like, "Oh, okay. So I just have to turn my oven on every time I want my house to be warm?
Oh,
Okay, that's awesome. Let me just heat my oven to 500 degrees for 3 hours a day, 4 times a day, so that I can have my house warm." Like, that makes so much sense. Like, that was literally his solution. I was just like, "Oh, okay, so I have to use the oven to heat my house?" And he was like, "If
Like
that
in the old
is
days.
what works." Yeah, I was like, "Should I just get a wood burning stove? Should I just like cut a hole in the floor and put a fire pit down there?"
You know how much I would love to have a wood burning stove?
Oh, it would be so beautiful.
I would just
You
put
guys-
a tea kettle on top,
Do you
make
guys have
tea all the
one, or is
time.
it fake?
fake. So.
I would too. Like some
I would want one of those like metal ones that have like the flute going out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I just put my little tea kettle on top, make tea all the time.
Yes, a little porridge,
So cool.
some stew.
Well, if you need a warm place to stay, like you can stay.
Mom brought me some heaters last night,
Okay.
which also brought up some other issues because
Mom was telling me about that.
we plugged in 2 of the heaters, and then
Short circuit.
it tripped a breaker.
Oh no.
But then I go out to the garage to check it, and I'm like, "I don't know which one it is. None of these are flipped."
Mm-hmm.
My mom's like, "One of them has to be flipped." And I'm like, "I think in my 25 years of life, I know what a tripped breaker looks like, but you can sure as shit be my guest and come over here and double check me." And she was like, "Yeah, I don't know. None of them. That's weird." And I'm like, "Okay, so what causes that? Like, how did it not trip the breaker?" So now I'm like so confused.
So what do you do?
So then I just flipped all of them, and then one of them came on. So then I was like, "Cool, that works."
Did you label it?
No. But I know which one it is. It's
Okay.
the third one from the bottom.
Okay.
You should probably go in and label those when you guys free time.
We need to label ours too, though, because like the rarity that we have to like flip them. It's like we have to do it all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, we tried to label them whenever we moved in, but it was like in the summer, and I don't know if the air conditioner wasn't working or what was going on, but it was like really hot. I don't know what it was, but he did not label them correctly, because it was for sure his handwriting. And it said living room, and then I flipped that one. Not it.
not the living room.
The one that said kitchen, not the kitchen.
Instead, I would just throw these up there and call it a day.
Yeah. So that's what it seemed like. I was like,
These I'll fix them later. Never got around to it.
I flipped another one, and I'm pretty sure it said garage or something. And it was the garage, the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom, all on one.
So
Wait,
like half the
what?
house.
Yeah. So half of my house is on one breaker.
That's so weird.
And then, but there's one plug-in in the living, or there's, yeah, one plug-in in the living room, and the light outside that are on their own breaker.
That's so weird. Old houses, the way they designed them.
And then my room and my bathroom are on one breaker, and then the other bedroom is on its own. So I was like, yeah, how does that make sense? How are we just gonna put half the house on this one little breaker? They were like, "We'll just like have this little house," and then they were like, "We're just gonna add some bedrooms." And then
Probably. That's how our house was. Like the original house, I'm pretty sure stopped right there, like where the kitchen ends. and then they extended it, and then they extended it more back. So I feel like I just slowly added on.
I love the layout of your house.
It's like a maze.
Yeah. It's like, man, how far back does it go?
People say that all the time. They're like, it keeps going. I'm like, it stops eventually, I promise. That's so crazy. All the breakers. Now I feel like I need to go label mine so I'm more self-aware.
Might be useful. Are you so glad you don't have to deal with that shit?
Eventually.
So, but yeah, I was saying that's crazy. Well, homeowner 101. We need to get like a carpentry guy or like someone in here to like educate us on first homeowners and what you need to know.
I was watching this TikTok the other day, and this lady, she's like, I just bought this house, and my realtor gave me this card. And she's like, did you know you're supposed to water your foundation? And I was like, what? I've never heard of that.
I've never watered our foundation.
But apparently it keeps it from cracking in the dry heat or something like that. I don't remember.
The living in our state then, because it's so hot.
Me too, man.
I'm a child at heart.
As we should be. Too many people these days are just like not carefree and like they don't laugh at things and we're just psycho. So
Girl, I
think
feel
it's
like
good to be a child at heart.
that's
is.
one of my big things. I'm just like, I cannot deal with people who just like don't want to look at things differently or like, they don't have the ability to look at things like that. I'm like, I think I look at everything through the eyes of a child.
Why so serious? Because that's my question. So that's good to look through the eyes of a child, though.
See, I love Christmas and the holidays and stuff with Ellie because it's like when I was a kid, you get so excited on the holidays. You'd be like, oh, we get presents or, we're getting this big meal today. It's a special occasion. And now I feel like I'm getting all that excitement back because I was getting to experience it for the first time. So, I don't know.
Say that again.
I said I'm getting all that excitement back because Ellie's getting excited about it and I'm getting excited about it for her.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking about that the other day too. Or maybe I was in the shower this morning. I don't know. Can't keep my thoughts straight. But at some point I was thought to myself that I think that like being around kids and like not necessarily like being a mom, but like being with Allison whenever she had Paris and then being so close to you whenever you had Ellie and just like watching them grow up, I think those years are like the sweetest because they're just like they're so innocent and it just reminds you that like there is innocence in the world and there is good in the world.
Yes.
Because I feel like at some point I don't know when. And I feel like in my life, it was probably pretty young. But I feel like it was just like gloomy. And then it just stayed that way for a long time.
Yeah. I feel like for me, holidays, like, it was magical. But then I also feel like when we moved down here, it got hard for me because, like, I was used to, like, Christmas up there. And then my grandma passed away on December 23rd. So then Christmas kind of started having, like, a dark cloud over it. But my mom loved Christmas, so like it did not rain on. I mean, it rained on her parade, but then like she still like went ham, and then yeah, when Amelia was born, like Christmas was okay then. Everyone knows I still like really don't like it, but so that was fun, and then Camden came along, and then that was fun too, and then seeing Ellie, especially this year, like on her trip, that was just. Like with Santa coming out. I just love that. And so that was magical. But like also on the flip side for me too though, like when your mom passes, you quickly realize like that Christmas magic was your mom. You are the one who is making like her Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I feel like it's just like another dark cloud over it again. And so I try to do things that bring pockets of peace. Like we adopted Luna on the 23rd. thought I'd cancel the sadness of my grandma. Obviously not. But yeah, Christmas. I just struggle with Christmas. I really, really struggle. It's hard.
I
So, I was gonna say, and then like I haven't got to do Christmas with the boys yet because it like didn't end up working out, and so that part like sucks too because it's like okay, like I considered leaving the stuff up until they come down, but then I'm like, well, it might be Valentine's Day before that happens, so
Yeah.
Girl, there was one time when I was living on my own, I left my Christmas tree up until like June.
yes. I follow this doctor's office on TikTok and they got tired of like putting it up and taking it down. And so now they decorate it for every holiday. They get like a Valentine's Day one.
And I was like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Yes.
I'm not against that. Like, and it doesn't, I don't have to decorate it for every holiday, but you know, like I could get like some dried oranges and like some potpourri kind of things.
Yeah.
And put it on it and just make it a giant air freshener.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Just like put lemons and oranges and pine cones on it.
And cinnamon sticks.
Yeah.
And just like switch it out. Like summer, you could do like lemons and limes and all the fresh things. And
I like that a lot better. Whenever I originally saw those, I was like, oh, well, that's cool. Like, I think initially that was my thought.
yeah.
And then, like, almost immediately, just because of my mindset, I was like, oh my God, that is so much consumerism. There are so many people who ran to Hobby Lobby to pay $12.99 for fucking sticks to put in a tree. Like, are you serious? I
Yeah.
looked at all of those and like the Easter ones, and they are really cute.
Mhm.
There was some craftsmanship put in there. They are like super cute, but like, seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously?
It was just at Hobby Lobby yesterday. Looking at all the Christmas decorations, they had 90% off.
Oh.
When we were looking for stuff for the wedding, so I ordered most of this stuff from either AliExpress or Temu or what was the other one? I think those were the main two.
Wish. Sheen.
Sheen, yeah. So those are like the three that I chose like my wedding stuff from. And then one day we went to Hobby Lobby and I was just like the entire day, I was just like, oh my God, literally I saw this on this, like it's 75 cents with free shipping.
Yeah.
And I spent $49.99 and I'm obviously going to spend $49.99.
Yeah.
I was like, so why would I pay $5 and get it today? You know?
That reminds me, I had on Temu, I had these little cactus neon lights saved for Ellie's birthday. And I found them on sale at Walmart for the same price as Temu.
What?
$5 a piece. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not passing this up.
Yeah. Get them now.
I love whenever you find things like that, but like whenever you find the opposite, it's just like, fucking kidding.
Yes. Yes. I know a lot of my wedding stuff, I feel like it was just like Amazon. But I mean, my centerpieces were like gold sprayed pinto beans. So I think I just went to Sam's Club for that and called it a day. I can't remember.
The flowers from both y'all's weddings, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah. Or little, what is that? It's a botanist.
Huh?
The botanists? You mean flowers?
A forest?
It's a flower.
A forest?
Is there like a more scientific term?
I don't think so.
Okay. You can be a
Florist.
florist. They're a little florist.
Botanist is somebody who studies plants.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking.
They don't study them, they just make them look pretty.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie. I was showing her photos of my flowers and Gabby last night, and she's like, "Oh, they're pretty," and I'm like, "Lynn did them." I was like, "You could hit her up probably and pay her." So
yeah, I've been trying to pimp her out.
so because they're gonna have their wedding in Dallas, and I was like, I think I could easily transport like a bouquet or something if that like worked out. So
I could
she might
easily
take
transport an entire car of flowers.
yes,
I gotta
yes,
say, me and Heather will just like, we'll get one of our cars loaded up, we'll deliver them and everything.
yes.
So you can teach
We better be on the guest list, just FYI.
Well, that was hard because they they got a really good deal on a venue and food and some decorations like tablecloths and all that. But
Is their wedding in Dallas?
yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah, I'm sure that was expensive.
So price wise, they like their guest list can only be like 75 people.
Oh, God.
And then when you have our family, who like immediate family is like 125 people, and then like her family, and then friends. So yeah,
That's wild.
they were going through it last night. I was like, I feel for you, because I remember when we were making our guest list, it was like 200 a piece, and then we had to go through like 5 times and like weed people out. So I was like, I could not cut it down to just 75.
Yeah,
See,
that would have been so hard.
I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, when I get married, I think I want the ceremony just to be like close family,
Mm-hmm.
and then just a few people, and then like we can have a reception for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's what I want to do.
If I could redo it over, I'd do it my way. I really wanted like me, him, and Deuce to go to Colorado and just elope and then come back and do a party.
That's what
That's what
Logan
I
and
wanted.
Elizabeth wanted to do too with their dog.
So that's what Mom kept saying she wished she would do, just get married like on your own, and then we can have a reception afterwards. She said it so many times.
I didn't want to have a wedding. Diego wanted to have a wedding.
Justin wanted to have the wedding. So
Yeah, this
no
man.
chance.
Chances already like started telling me, he's like, I want it to be like a Viking kind of theme, like with the animal furs, and I was like,
What?
Never.
I'm not wearing animal fur in attendance or whatever.
He wants like a sword, like he wants
Nikita.
he wants it to be like so extravagant and like this whole thing, and I'm just like, I just want to find a giant pretty tree and get married under it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy with that.
I wanted to get married at Taco Bell in Las Vegas. I
would have
so bad wanted to do that.
I so would have done that.
If we ever go to Las Vegas, I'll call you guys and I'll tell you to fly on out because we're doing that.
I love Vegas.
It was like literally so cheap. I think it was like $800 to rent out the second story of this Taco Bell, and then all your guests just order tacos.
Wait, the Taco Bell had a second story?
Oh,
Yes.
yes. We hadn't been to it, but I want to go so
They have
bad.
alcoholic Baja Blast that you can
Yes.
serve on tap to your guests.
It's like the some places that Chipotle's have like margaritas.
Yes.
You can buy them there.
See, I need to go to these places.
I know.
Yes.
You gotta go to Vegas. You guys have been to Vegas, and we've been to Vegas when we were kids.
Yeah. Have you seen the ads for that place called the Sphere?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's like this giant ball. It's like one big screen, and they make it look like a smiley face, or but they can put whatever they want on there. But it's usually like a smiley face that's like looking around at everything.
It kind of freaks me out. I feel like I'd go in there and get trapped.
Oh, wow. Look, I would go in there. And it would just freak me out. Like, I'd have an instant panic attack. I'd just be like, whoa.
I saw they had concerts there, and
Are you
the
looking it up?
graphics were amazing, though. Yes.
I don't think I could ever go there. Wait, I'm confused. How are they outside?
They
That's
weren't.
on screen.
Those are the screens.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild.
Crazy. I feel like that's like alien technology.
Project Bluebeam.
Wait, you see why I said I think I would have a panic attack?
Like
Because they put on that one screen where it looks like you're like out
In the
mountains.
clouds?
Yeah, in
Yes.
the mountains and stuff. Yeah, no, I would see that, and I'd, like, my fear of heights would instantly kick in, and I'd be like, I'm gonna fall.
Yeah,
Like, logically, I know I was okay, but at the same time, my brain would be
Yes. Well, it's like
tripping.
when I put the VR on and Diego had done
Yeah.
it with the building, and you walk out on the plank, and I was about to take it off, and he's like, "Give it on, give it on," and then he's like, "Just wait," and the next thing I know, the guy like jumped off the plank and was falling off the building, and I was like, "Nope."
Yeah. I think right whenever he fell, I felt it in my body.
Yeah.
And then I was falling, like I literally felt the feeling of falling, and I was like, hell no, I am going to crash on the ground.
My heart just drops.
Yeah.
Into my stomach,
Yeah.
in my ass.
Yeah, like the same feeling that wakes you up whenever you're asleep. Yeah.
Yes.
Who would do that to themselves on purpose?
Your brother and Diego.
Your husband's?
Apparently me too, because I put it on and kept them on. So
It sounded like you were coerced.
It's just like, I have a fear of heights. Like, why am I on the edge of a building right now?
Yeah, no, he's like, look down. And I was like, I really don't want to. No, thank you.
I just want to hang out in my amethyst room. Like, that's all I want to
That one was so cool.
is. I don't think I got to show you. It was just like
this room.
it was just like because you can pick like a landing page or whatever, and so your brother's is like tropical. He's like in this tiki hut bar,
Of course.
and then
It's always been like his thing.
yes, and then mine's like a little an adobe house with like cactus everywhere. But they have another option, and I can't remember if it was Adobe or just like a really clean, white, aesthetically pleasing house, but it has amethyst everywhere. Like there's a big stone of amethyst in the middle. It was beautiful. If only it were real though. I'm
Right.
sure it's real somewhere, just not in our tax brackets.
The embroidery things that I told you guys earlier, I got each of you one that I'm gonna do for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I can.
I'm super excited. Can't wait to show you guys.
Oh.
Ellie's turned out really well. I only have like 5 more things to stitch on it, but even then,
You should send photos of it. I want to see it.
I was thinking about bringing it, but I was like, it's not done. I don't want them to see it till it's done.
No pictures until the final product. So, but yeah. Well, I don't know. I just went blank.
Well, so I said that the post office was closed today. Because everybody at the post office is closed on Saturdays for some reason. But they're hiring. So I was like, well, I've almost been at my job a year. Might be time to switch.
Okay, you mentioned PETA. So the other day we were hanging out and I was scrolling through and possibly looking at other jobs. And as I was eating my ribeye, I was like, Justin, PETA's looking for an executive assistant. It's like, you're eating ribeye, and you're like talking about applying for a job at PETA, which I would never work at PETA. I'm sorry, PETA, you ain't worthy. I'm from cattle country. And so I just thought that was like ironic that I was just kind of like eating this delicious ribeye and talking about applying to PETA.
I would have done it, honestly.
You should though. The post office has good benefits and all that.
Right. The downside is I just got 2 years vacation. Or 2 weeks vacation.
I'll say 2 years. Fuck yeah.
I just got 2 weeks vacation. So I am like, ugh. And then I kind of like how easy my job is. Like,
well, I used to like work from home sometimes, and
yeah,
post office. I do feel like it is hard to like get like off
time off. Yeah,
like things like that. So
yeah,
long run wise, it's excellent, but like comfort wise, I think it could be hard.
yeah. So I'm thinking about that or struggling with that. But this week, like I said, my job is really boring. I kind of just like go in and then do whatever in the afternoon. So I kind of just like learn all kinds of stuff. I watch. Do you guys watch the History Channel?
I don't.
I don't think I have a real long time.
Okay, I love the
It's
History
not
Channel.
on Netflix or Amazon Prime. It don't get watched.
Well, it's on Hulu.
There,
Yeah, Hulu.
I don't watch Hulu.
was it on Disney Plus at one time?
Maybe.
I
I know they have Nat Geo Wild.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. There was on one of them. It was like a docu-series. I can't remember if it was History or National Geographic, but it had Morgan Freeman, and I can't remember the title, but it was basically like Finding God or something like that. And he like made it a point to like go and like dig deep into like every religion, and so he like of course did like Christianity and then like Hinduism and Buddhism and like all that, and then he like just kind of like compared like everyone's beliefs, and it was cool seeing how like everyone does have their own beliefs, but if you put it out like across the board, there like are just so many similarities and all that. And so that was probably the like last like real thing I watched like on one of those two channels. But it was very interesting. I highly recommend it. And I also
It's
think
really
it was
good.
season 2, but it was just very like informative. And because you have some people, you have some Christians who like are just like, no, like I only accept my religion and my religion only. But like I was taught like, yeah, like you love Jesus. Yeah, you want people to love Jesus too. But then my mom was very, very big on like you respect like other people like
Yeah.
and their religion. So like that's why I'm like, oh, you're this awesome. Like I love that. And so I really love just like educating myself more on it. Like I can't remember which religion it was, but like the way they had done like these funerals, I just thought it was the sweetest and just nicest thing, like getting, you know, their loved one from like their earthly body to whatever they believe in the afterlife. So I love that kind of stuff. I really do. It's a good one.
On Ancient Aliens, the one that I was watching on my way here, they were said, yeah, I watched, yeah, I'm always on my phone.
She's like, don't question it.
Anyways, so I'm always consuming knowledge, but anyways, so I was watching it, and they were saying that they found a boat that was like sewn together with wood, and it was like really flexible, and so is capable of carrying impossible loads. So like the big like bricks that they brought over from like across the river or whatever, or like lots of supplies or whatever, it could handle it. But then another person said that like maybe it was just like a really, really nice boat that they sent their bodies out onto. But he did note that the Egyptians always spent more time and money on their afterlife than they did on like living lavishly.
Yeah.
Whereas other religions, or not religions, what would that be, like other places, other countries, other kings, their kingdoms,
Yeah.
like the Romans,
Empires.
who was the Caligula, was the Roman emperor that was just really lavish, and he had like all kinds of stuff, and they also uncovered his boats, and he had 2 floating mansions. He had a float.
What?
Yes, that were, both of them were supposed to be nicer than the biggest yachts today. And they had, one of them had a fountain with a turning statue.
Wow.
Yeah, like 3 turning statues of a goddess, and then some goddess that he likes. I don't know. And then he had a temple, and then he had baths, multiple bathtubs that they were able to drain and refill on the ship. They were able to filter out their feces.
The first cruise ship.
They were able to filter out their feces, so they had a toilet. They also had heated floors.
What?
Yeah, they had a furnace under an elevated floor, or a furnace that piped air under an elevated floor. So he had heated floors on this floating ship.
This floating mansion.
Yes,
What?
how crazy! Like you had to go up. It was like 8 stairs to get onto the boat from the water surface.
Wow.
And there's people under the boat rowing it.
Oh
I want to be one of those people.
That's crazy.
I mean,
I had no clue.
I guess you'd be living lavishly.
Yeah, which he was the king that was known for almost bankrupting Rome. So yeah, which everybody hated him, and it was said that he would walk around the rooms of the boat, just like pointing at like different walls and just saying like, "I can have you killed," and then walking away. So he was mad. He's crazy. But I think all of them were. I think all of the Roman emperors around his time were. If you watch,
that was my first thought. I wonder what sign he was. Obviously, some Leo placement, being an emperor. Just saying.
Right.
Sorry, gotta add that in.
Right. Makes sense. But then he's also known for so whenever I watched, what was the series on Netflix? The Roman Empire or something on Netflix.
I didn't know there was one.
Anyway, the one that everybody was talking about. Anyways, there's a thing about the Roman emperors on Netflix, and it tells the story of like everybody up to Julius Caesar, and he's the one. It's so good if you are looking for something. But he is the one that he had a wife, and then his wife couldn't give him his baby, so then he killed her, and then he had sex with all of his sisters. He had 3 sisters, so he had sex with all of his sisters until one of them got pregnant.
What the Targaryen is going on?
Yeah. And then one of his sisters got pregnant, and then so the other 2 were kind of like banished, I guess. And then and then whenever she gave birth, he ripped the baby out of her and killed her.
I'd like to see him pop a baby out of his little thing.
Yeah, and I can't remember, right? And I can't remember if the baby was a boy or a girl, but now I'm curious to know if it was, and if it was a girl, if he killed her.
Probably. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, because he was on the boats, I believe, when he died. He was the emperor that was had multiple stab wounds, and they think the senators are the ones that killed him. Which the senators are like the most loyal, so like they're like the ones which he forced them to make him the ruler.
Wait, so he kind of died like how Caesar died?
Yeah. But he was stabbed by all of them. All of them took turns in the Netflix series. All of them took turns, and they like planned it. They brought him into it like a court meeting, I guess, and then they were like, they locked the doors, and they're like, and they died.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy. I'm telling you, this history was wilding out.
I know. I love learning about history.
So crazy.
What's your favorite place? China, Egypt, Germany?
I don't know. I've never really thought about it. I mean, I've always thought Paris was cool.
Don't know any history there.
I tower, but
Um,
not much of a history person.
Our ancestors raided France multiple times. Irish.
Nice. That's interesting.
We took St. Patrick and 200 other kids from. No, I didn't do that. He did. Our ancestor. He ordered the taking of 200 kids and St. Patrick from his village, and then after Christianity spread to the island, like 300 of the people on the island were named gods and goddesses. Or maybe saints. No saints. There are no saints. Not gods. Sorry, I was thinking Egypt. But they're named saints, and I was like, well, that's crazy. And now we have St. Patrick's Day, so I don't know. I guess he was just a good person. Didn't really read much into that. I don't know anything about St. Patrick's Day.
Last episode.
We did. Yes, I forgot about that. Huh. Yeah, I feel like I need to go watch this Netflix special though. I didn't know anything about it, so.
About what? Rome?
Yeah, the Emperor.
Girl, yes. It is so good. It's like a drama.
Oh.
But then the whole time I was watching, I was like, how did they build that? Why is everything so dark?
I'm here for it.
And then I was like, no wonder everybody's so fucking pale. They didn't have any windows.
I wonder if they look really young though for their age. No sun damage. Yeah, they had sunblock back then.
But if you don't get any sun, then you also don't have any vitamin D. Which maybe that's why they were so freaking sad all the time.
Maybe.
Because vitamin D in the winter is the cause of seasonal depression. Or loss of vitamin D. Lack of vitamin D.
There's a shit ton of vitamin D, so there's something else wrong with me. I'm like my magnesium has vitamin D. I take a vitamin D, so I'm just screwed.
Like the whole vitamin. I do too, and then some others, zinc and charcoal.
Mhm. I have a whole slew of them I take. Iron, uh, this other little complex one is for your your cortisol. Like, because I feel like I'm highly stressed. So
Heather keeps telling me about this one thing where, like, you go in and they take your blood or whatever, and they tell you what all vitamins you need in your body.
Oh, it's a cheek swab.
Yeah.
And she's like, you need to do it. You need to do it. I'm like, I don't know about that.
I am about to I ordered for Christmas, I ordered myself a 23andMe.
Oh, yeah, you said
So
that.
I'm excited. It came in. So tomorrow, probably I'm going to spit in it and send it off. And then I also created a doctor's appointment. So I could go and have my blood drawn and get like a whole shit ton. I made a whole list. I've got like my CBCs,
I saw your list the other day. There's a lot going on it.
Yeah. So I really wanted to test my hormone levels. I think that I've like narrowed it down to hormones and balance. But I want to say that it comes from like I want to say that it stems from like my pituitary gland. So I want to say it's like all up in the brain, not like the thyroid or something else.
Yeah.
But I encourage everybody to always find out your own stuff about your body before even going to the doctor because they don't like to tell you anything.
Be your own advocate. It's very important.
Very.
And if you're a caregiver, be their advocate too.
Amen.
Say fight for them because
I do that a lot at work.
yeah. I was gonna say because like there might not be something that they don't think of or they're too scared to ask or like I just stay curious though. So I know my mom's doctors probably some love me or appreciated me, but some I could tell they're just like this girl.
I feel like
She's here again.
The way that you like go about asking, as long as you like go about asking in a curious and inquisitive manner and not like a accusative manner.
Yeah.
Because I feel like too often people like somebody tells them something and then they just instantly get defensive because it bruises their ego. And so their only instinct is to come back and say something else that's also offensive instead of just assuming that they were being inquisitive. So, welcome back from our break.
We're gonna play a little Would You Rather game.
I was like, Luna said, "Would you rather?" Bark or bark.
So my question that I came up with was: would you rather go back to Rome or Egypt 2,000 or 4,500 years ago?
It's kind of like a double whammy there. But I would go to Egypt 4,500 years ago. I would love to see the pyramids being built. I would like to have that little secret. Like, I know how they got those stones up there.
Right?
I saw this funny thing, and it was like they always wonder how the pyramids in Egypt were built, but no one questions how they were built in Mexico and like South America.
I've never thought about that.
Like I've read something on that just recently.
But
I've
also
never thought
though,
about that.
on Ancient Aliens, all of them are, by the Ancient Aliens theory, seem to be made by aliens.
Well, and they all line up.
Yeah.
There's something about some of them like perfectly lined up. Like
They all line up with Orion's belt. The threes, all the ones that are in threes, line up with Orion's belt, which is crazy.
it's crazy. Oh, I don't know. That's a hard one. I think I'm gonna go Rome. I'm gonna go with Rome.
2,000 or 4,500?
That's
I don't know if there were people were there 4,500 years ago, though.
Had to be.
Right.
I
Right?
guess 4,500, so I can figure this out.
Yes. So we're all going back 4,500 years ago. I want to go back to Egypt. And then my next question was, do you think that Jesus, since he was in Egypt, do you think that he went to the Library of Alexandria to study with the great minds of Egypt who created, there was one guy who created a robot. There was another guy who created, I mean, they pretty much created everything there. It was crazy.
When did Jesus go to Egypt?
I don't know.
Did I miss that?
2,000 years ago? That would be 2,000 years ago. Was he not in Egypt?
I don't ever remember him going to Egypt.
I don't know. I mean, it's over there. But, like, was Egypt then? Like, it was Egypt, right?
I think so.
But then, like, where's Alexandria? Is it not right there by,
I know Kairos, like,
right there? Yeah, because it's on the Nile.
Yeah.
But did he not go to Cairo?
I don't think so. See,
I'm not up to
We're
date
serious.
with my Bible.
Me either.
when I think of Moses in Egypt,
Yeah.
but not Jesus. And when I think Jesus, I think of like Jerusalem and like all those like
Yeah.
places.
Where did Jesus go whenever, like, for 30 years or wherever to learn his skills?
Did he go into the mountains?
Mount Zion? No, wait, that's where he prayed before he passed, I think. Please hold.
What are you searching?
Did Jesus go to Egypt?
The village of Nazareth grew up as a. Where's Nazareth? Is that in Israel? Okay.
Okay, so it says the Gospel of Matthew describes how Joseph, Mary, and Jesus went to Egypt to escape from. Is that my car?
So gruesome.
Like
She's on the phone, she's screaming, she's locked herself in the car, she's like, my friend is dead, my friend is dead, he ripped her apart, he's hitting her with her own arm, and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
I could not imagine.
Like, and then once he was done with her, he turned on the owner. Of course, she's in the car, and I guess it was like trying to rip the door off the car to get to her.
Oh my god! Could she not drive away?
I think she just ran. I don't think she grabbed the keys or anything. Like she just ran. And
flip the car.
they're like, well, we're sending police. She's like, tell him to bring all the guns. Tell him to bring all the guns. You have to kill him. You can't stop him. You have to kill him.
Yeah, what are they gonna do? That's not amazing. That's so funny.
Elephant tramples woman to death and then attacks her corpse at funeral.
That is so wild. Where was that? In Africa?
India.
Wow.
70-year-old woman.
They hold grudges.
They do.
What did she do?
I was probably an elephant in a past life. Because I can hold a grudge.
What did she do to this lady?
I don't even
Or
remember.
the lady did to her. That's crazy.
Elephants are so cool to me because their memory is like amazing. Like, you know, they can have a member of like their family die, and like they'll remember where they died, and they'll like go back to that spot to mourn them and like remember them. That's so wild.
Yeah, they have a lot of human characteristics that are admirable. Like, don't they have like the best memories? They had like a little brain, but they have the best memories.
Something like that. It just said she was getting water from like this well, and then it had escaped from this like little sanctuary, and it just came out.
Piss it off. She did.
I know. I'm like, this ain't the full story because
Or
like
maybe like it was being tortured in the sanctuary.
maybe it's like this is my watering hole.
Right.
Like, you can't drink my water.
That's so crazy. But no, I feel like the elephant would be smart enough to like go after the people who, who did it.
Yeah, and then they were performing her last rites before lighting, like getting like the funeral like together and all that. And then the elephant returned, grabbed her body, and was throwing her corpse in the air, and then ran away.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so
And the
crazy.
elephant said, and another thing.
I want done.
I said, rest in pieces.
Oh my god. Oh.
It was hitting my leg, helping you not choke. Normally, when you're choking, you're supposed to go like this.
It was in my
It's like
instinct.
you're choking.
It was in my instinct. I was just like, but anyways, and then I got it up myself. So
There was one time when I was living alone in my first apartment.
welcome back, guys.
But there was one time when I was living alone in my first apartment. I was sitting in bed eating a bowl of cereal, watching TV, and all of a sudden I started choking on the cereal.
Oh god.
And I was like, oh, this is it. This is how I die. I'm laying in bed in my underwear eating a bowl of cereal.
Oh god.
And I'm like, what do I do? And like, like when I get into situations like that, I don't know like how to explain it. Like it's like time slows down and I can think more clearly. And so like I just stopped and I was like, okay, don't panic. Slowly try to inhale so that way I could still breathe. And I still kind of could get some air, but like there was definitely cereal lodged in there. So I was sitting there coughing as hard as I can and, trying to pull in as much air as I can so I can cough more. And finally, I just stood up and just pounded on my own chest, and it came out. And I was like, "Oh my god! I thought this was it. I genuinely thought I was about to die." It was like a good 5 minutes of me doing that, trying to get that cereal out.
Oh my gosh. A donut wouldn't have done that to you.
That's true.
I'm just gonna.
I do want to say that I'm sorry for that comment. That was not sensitive. I apologize. We just have a dark sense of humor around here.
I cope with dead mom jokes. I'm gonna laugh at saying
But whenever you're telling that story, my only thought was, do you guys think about when you die, who's gonna find you and how they're gonna find you?
Yeah.
no, because my hope is like we all just die together. Like I really just hope a bomb or like Jesus comes back or like something. So
I was thinking today in the shower is where I get all my best thoughts, or not, I guess, depends on how you look at this. But I was thinking today, I was like, good Lord, like I've always pictured my parents dying and like what that would be like. But I feel like my death is just gonna be like, I feel like there's gonna be a war or something, It's gonna like be a bombing or something. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's gonna be tragic, but it's just gonna be like over, and then like that's gonna be.
I hope so, because like I ain't trying to like hunt for my food or starve.
I want to. Well, I don't want to starve, but I want to like hunt for my, I want to like hunt for my food. That kind of leads me into what I've been looking into recently. I started reading a book, one of my books for my New Year's resolution. And it was just the first one that I grabbed when I was going to take a bath one day. And it was like, I don't know what the book's called, but it's something about like how to get to your dream career, or the career that's made for you or something. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, whatever, we'll read it. I have been wanting to like switch, so I'll just see. And I've been looking into a lot of different things. So I'll use this book as kind of like a guide. And then I think I got to chapter 3, and then I was like, well, let's just go over this. And so then I went to sleep, and then I just like looked into other things the next day. But I think I've come up with, I want to do like a master's in nutrition and dietetics. And then they just changed the licensing requirements. So I can be a registered dietetic. Yeah.
Cool.
And so I was like, okay, I like that. But then I was, of course, talking to my good friend ChatGPT. And so we have like this literally like probably 25 gigabyte long conversation about different careers. So I feel like ChatGPT really knows me at this point and what I want out of life. But then he said to focus on a career or then after I do that, then focus on like holistic aspects and then just like how to incorporate that into the practice or like pursue also holistic education at the same time or after. So I was like, which I've looked into that and I love that.
Yeah.
And then the other one was I think just like wellness, just like overall wellness. And that is how I can implement, like, because I want to teach other people how to listen to their body pretty much, how to like, because like society tells you to eat 3 times a day. And mom and dad think that Ellie doesn't eat enough because she doesn't eat 3 times a day. But like I eat twice a day and I'm fine. I have so much, like I have enough energy. Like it's
She
because
snacks throughout the day too.
yeah, and I do too, but like I don't sit down and like I can't sit down and eat 3 times a day. If I force myself to do that, I'm so bogged down and just like so full and just like and then it's just like you're going from one meal to the next meal to the next meal and you're just like I don't know, making yourself dependent on it, I guess it feels like to me. But
I
like
just go off of when I feel hungry, I eat.
yeah, and I think that like learning more of just like when my body's hungry and then eating instead of like, oh, I'm bored and eating has like really helped me.
Yeah.
And then that along with like learning about my food and learning about it was horticulture, um not like universal agriculture, but like sustainable agriculture where they like you have trees and shrubs and plants and they all grow and you don't have to maintain them. It just like all maintains itself
It's
through
like becomes its own ecosystem.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I want to learn how to do that and implement kind of like and then I guess kind of like do like a lifestyle coaching thing where I can teach people, like, if they want to learn how to do the gardening, I can teach them how to do that. Or if they want to learn how the foods in their garden they can implement in their diet and different things that they get. Like, I just want to be able to, I guess, help people understand all of that.
And make it more accessible.
Yeah. And not really like, I guess I want to advocate for that. Not really like, that's kind of my issue is I don't really want to be in those jobs. Like, I don't really want to be in a hospital and be a dietitian and give elderly people I don't want to do that. I want to advocate health for everybody, like genuine health,
Yeah.
not like go to the doctor and get your wellness checkup so they can tell you that everything's fine.
Yeah. I think that's a good career path for you. I can see that happening. Definitely.
I thought a lot about it.
I feel like ChatGPT does know you well.
Yeah, we're like BFFs.
You're like spot on with that.
Which after
It's just sitting here growling.
after
She gave Luna the burrito.
I did ask her if she wanted it, and you said no.
She ate the shit out of it.
I don't do eggs.
What?
There was like a little bit where I didn't like eggs, and I was just like, oh. It was after the whole egg thing.
What egg thing?
What egg thing?
Whenever I was going to cook some eggs, I was going to boil some eggs, and one of them was chirping.
And one of them was what?
Chirping. Like, they're about to crack open.
Oh,
Yeah, like it's about to hatch an egg.
dang.
Yeah, I think I left my eggs out.
Oh, that happened to me. I've had 2 yolks in one before. That was cool.
Mom had one of those on Thanksgiving. She was making something and she cracked like 4 of them and they were all double yolk. There was one time I went to bake something and I cracked an egg and it was bloody.
Oh, you got the period.
I was like,
I don't know.
I was like, throw it out. We have to start again.
Start from scratch.
Yeah, that's gross.
I don't know. Eggs is one of those things where I think I could just like eat meat. I can't eat like egg salad sandwich though.
I don't know if it's
I
like a
hate
texture or a flavor thing for me. I don't know, but like the only way I can eat them is if like they're smothered in gravy with like a biscuit. Yeah, it's the only way I can eat them.
I get our eggs from, so I want to mention this so people don't think I'm crazy. I get our eggs from our neighbor. So I don't know if they're fertilized or not. So if I do leave them out, there is a possibility that they do have new chicken. So I'm not crazy. I'm not like, oh, if you buy eggs at the store, I threw it. I was freaked out.
Talk about making choices.
And I took it out and like I'd put it in a little jar, wrapped it in a little hot towel.
I probably would have thrown it away too.
I
got time for this.
So I had 7 eggs, and mom had got me like an egg boiler thing, little thing that cooks them in like 7 minutes, right? And so then you have to poke the egg before you set it on there for some reason.
Yeah.
And I was holding one that had a little crack in it. And so I was like, oh, like it's just a little broken. Maybe, hopefully, it doesn't crack in my hand. And I puncture it, and it chirps at me. So I threw it in the trash. And then I took the trash out, and I left it in the garage for way too long because I forgot about it. And then the eggs went in the garage, and then I had to wash my garage. It was disgusting.
Oh, I feel like that was a journey.
It was.
Yeah. It's a journey.
But also, farm fresh eggs, always
Superior.
my fave.
Always. I
Did you
think
think
start chirping?
Yeah, until they chirp at you.
I hate store-bought eggs. I hate buying store-bought eggs.
Mm-hmm. I love like our little store. I was gonna tell you guys, I meant to stop by today because I was gonna get you guys some bread, and they weren't freaking open whenever I went by. I thought I thought they opened at 9, but I think they opened at 10, and it was like 9:30, and I was like, oh, dang it. Okay, whatever.
I love fresh bread.
It's the one that I got. Did you see on my story the garlic herb? And it was so freaking good. It smelled amazing.
Buy one of those bread maker machines where you just put all the stuff in.
And it mixes it and all that. Yes, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I've never seen this.
You just like throw all the ingredients and it mixes it up, and then it lets it rise, and then it makes it for you.
What? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I've seen people complain about is like the little mixer thing at the bottom. Mm-hmm. Like when it bakes it, like it's like imprinted in your bread. So like, you kind of like maybe like a few slices that like are that weird imprint, but other than that, I feel like it'd be awesome.
That's okay.
I do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't make it and put some butter on it.
That's what I'm saying. Throw some cheese on it. Make a grilled cheese sandwich.
Right. I love me a grilled cheese sandwich. Tomato soup. Me
too. Harvest Land has tomato bisque, and it's so good. So good.
I get this one. It's like tomato soup, but it has like red peppers in it too. And usually I'll just throw it on the stove and put like some garlic salt in it. Call it good.
That sounds so good.
I know. I add like heavy cream to the one out there just to like thin it a little bit, but not like water it down. And it's so amazing. So good.
I saw this one TikTok the other day, since we're talking about food. This lady put like some seasonings and like this cream cheese, and then she like spread it on a bagel and popped it in the air fryer. It looks so good.
You're not a cream cheese person, so I'm not on that one.
Yeah, I don't like cream cheese.
I love cream cheese in all kinds of ways. I know how to make a fruit dip out of it, icing. I can do so much with cream cheese.
Like cream cheese and mayo and sour cream are like my 3 sauce condiments that I'm like.
I like mayo. I don't like sour cream.
I'm not a big fan of sour cream, but I can eat it
Yeah.
in small doses.
Yeah.
No, if it's in my burrito, I'm not eating it.
I just have to know I don't need to know it's there and I can push through. I'll know, but like
If I'm surprised, I'm like,
ignore it.
See, it grosses me out when somebody puts a lot of sour cream on something. It's like a taco. You go to take a bite out of it, and it just all into your mouth, and it's like, ugh.
If I'm gonna push through it, I'm either A, super hungry, or B, I spent a lot of money. And like I said, it can't be like to where I take a bite and the sour cream falls out. It has to be like the thinnest strip that I can push through on. Anything beyond that, no, sending it back. Can't do it.
Yeah.
So disgusting. Well,
And it's not something you can just like scrape off.
no.
Like it there.
Just no.
Sorry, but wow.
I have a whole lot of recipes I want to try.
Like what?
Well, a few years ago, I made a Danish puff pastry, like from scratch. Took forever to make, but by the time it was done, I had the egg wash on it with the icing and the blackberry filling. Oh, it was the best thing I had ever made, and I really want to try to make it again.
In Spain, I had something that had chocolate in it that I got at a bakery. And then I kept going back to that bakery, and I've tried to find something like that ever since. And I feel like that's what they want to do at Starbucks, but it's just not it. You know, it's just not this.
Delivering.
Yeah, it's like, man, you should go to Europe, maybe.
I feel like there's this little it's not Spanish, but it's a French place in Tulsa. So maybe they'd have something similar.
Maybe.
It's like I'll have to look up the name because I don't even want to pretend like I know what it's called. But I'll look it up and send it to y'all. Maybe they'll have something close to at least.
Yeah, maybe look up the recipe for that again, and I'll come to your house and make it. I'll just treat you to desserts.
Please don't.
Puff pastry. Oh,
you can entertain Ellie while I make it.
Heck yeah.
Oh well,
I have my tattoo scheduled.
Read the terms and conditions.
But it's gonna go all the way around my arm. I'm so excited about it.
Hell yeah. I like the one you picked.
Me too.
Did you listen to the last episode we recorded?
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't remember if I pressed yellow or green. It was one of those two.
I think the yellow's the clapping. One of them is whoever had this before, their intro.
That's the red one. I remember that one being red, the very first one. But the rest I can't remember what's what. What?
What?
what does their intro sound like?
What? I don't know. It was a lot of music. And it's 3 minutes long.
Oh.
It was all the things.
Yeah.
I don't even remember either. Thank you so much for entertaining our chaotic minds.
Yes, guys. Sorry if we offended anybody.
No, I just remembered.
Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.